calendar, but on the phone, you just put in Jones and it'll show you right away. It'll show birthdays every year. You don't have to manually transfer the birthdays every year. Every time you get a new paper calendar, automatically adjust for time zones. And that's really handy if you take off in LA and land in New York. The time zones will get taken care of automatically. So the takeoff time and the landing time will be correct in the time zone that you're going to and leaving from. You can enter an event directly from email. So if the email sends you a date, you can just tap on the date and tap add to calendar, and it'll put it right in your calendar for you. If you've entered a location, you can tap on the map in the calendar field and in the map field, and it'll open up the directions and take you right to the directions. So there are all kinds of things you can do with the iPhone calendar instead of paper, which is really cool. Okay, so let's, this is a screenshot of a calendar. I turned off some of my calendars because I want to maintain privacy. Down here at the bottom, you can see there's the calendar icon right down at the bottom. And you notice it shows the day and the date. So if you didn't notice that, it's right there. So if you're looking for the day and the date real quickly, just open the calendar. And if you have this on your home screen, you can be able to see the day and the date right there. I'm pointing to the bottom. I hope you can see it. I have a little dot here I can also point to. And so I'm talking about this right down here at the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to open the calendar. And the first thing I want to point out is in the lower left corner, right down here, there's the Today button. So no matter what day you're on, you could be in the future 20 years from now. And if you want to get back to today, just go over here and tap on the Today button and it'll take you right back to today. Also notice that there's a little red line right across the screen where the current time is. So we are just at 10:08, and you can see we're just into the iPhone Zoom mini class right here. This line will just keep moving down the calendar as the day goes on. Now, if you don't have enough things showing, you can take two fingers and pinch and zoom by just pinching and collapsing your fingers like this on the screen, two fingers, and you can stretch out the spacing between the times, or you can scrunch them together. I like to scrunch them together because I can see more things on the screen at once. So that's very handy. So these are the kind of preparation things to get you going. Okay, so here's our calendar. I'm looking at today. I can see when I have various meetings. So I have a Zoom meeting at 4 o'clock, you notice, and it's and that meeting is in a different color than the meeting for the iPhone class. The iPhone class meeting is blue. Well, that's my personal calendar, the blue calendar. So anything in blue shown on any of these calendars is mine. Okay. Now my wife's is pink, but I turn hers off because for privacy reasons, she doesn't want certain things shown. That's fine. So I turn it off. But if I go back to this is what it would normally look like if I had hers turned on. So she has a meeting at 2 o'clock. I just made this up. So this is a screenshot of another phone. Lunch meeting, iPhone Zoom class. A green is prepare. Okay, so the green is my own personal calendar, and nobody else can see it. So I'm not sharing that with my wife, but she can see this one because that's my personal calendar, but she can't modify it. Only I can modify it. I can see hers, but I can't modify hers. And then this one here, we can both modify and we can both see. So you can have any combination of things you want. This is just for me. This is my stuff, but she can look at it, but she can't modify it. We both can modify this one, and this one only she can modify, but I can see. And I'll get into how you do that a little later on.
There's a question, Jake.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you're going to get into it later. Somebody asked how you color code it to identify the different people.
Yeah, and when we talk about sharing calendars, I'll show you how to color code them as well. So that's coming up. Stand by. Okay, so let's just look at what you can do in this calendar here. So this is today, and you notice there's a month of March up here in the upper left corner. Up here in the upper left corner, I'm going to give my little dot. Upper left corner, see this, the word March, because we're in the month of March. So if I want to go and see the whole month of March, I'll just tap on that, and it'll take me to the month calendar. And now I can scroll through the months up and down. And you notice that today is red, so the 17th is red, but I could go to April, I can go to May, I can go to June, I can go back, look at the previous calendar. So you can see, any calendar you want. But let's say you want a bigger view. So I want to go to the year. So I'm going to tap on the upper left corner again. Now it says 2021. If I tap on 2021, now it gives me the calendar for the year, 2021. And I can scroll back and see 2020, 2019, so on. I can go forward and go to any day or month I want. So let's say that I have to renew my driver's license in 2028. So I can very quickly go to 2028, go to the month by tapping on the month over here. I'll tap on August, and then tap on the day of the week that I want to go to. And voila, there I can put in my birthday. Or renew my driver's license, whatever it is. And I can enter that in the year 2028 very quickly. Now, if I want to get back to today, instead of scrolling all the way back to 2021, I just go back here and tap today, and then it takes me back to today's month. And if I tap on the 17, it'll take me to today, and I'm right back where I was. So you can very quickly navigate between any date and any other date. Now, if you have this view, this is the more normal view of the calendar, you can scroll by just rubbing your finger left and right on the screen and go to the next day and the next day, or the previous day or the previous day, and so on. So you can go back and forth. Again, if you get lost and go too far in the future or too far in the back, you want to get back to today, just go down to the bottom and tap on the today button, and you're back to today. Now, if I want to scroll a week ahead, let's say I want to see what's next week on the Wednesday, I just slide over here on the top. See this thing on the top? I just slide it, and it moves over 1 week. And if I want to go 1 week at a time into the future, I just slide that 1 week into the future, and it shows me every Wednesday, because today's Wednesday, so it highlights Wednesday. But today's Wednesday is really in red. So we can very quickly go a week ahead, a week back. You can go a day ahead by just swiping on the calendar itself. And we can go forward and backward a year. Let's say if I wanted to go to 2030, we figured out how to do that. We just hit the March button and then hit one more time. We have the whole year, and now I can just quickly scroll to 2030. And voila, I can enter something there or look and see what's in the calendar on a particular date on 2030. So if I go to August 28, 2030, sure enough, it has my birthday up there because it's been in there. And it's repeating. In fact, it's not in the calendar, it's in contacts. That's where you put birthdays. You don't put birthdays in the calendar. You put them in the contacts, and then they'll repeat automatically every year. I'm going to go back down here to today. Okay, and let's hit it one more time, and I'm back to today's view. Now, there's another view of the calendar. If you don't like this view, if you tap up here this little, what I call a list or a hamburger, and tap on that, and it becomes red, now you have a different view. You have each day listed in order, but it doesn't show you how long each event is. So if you have an event that's much longer, it doesn't show you that. It just shows you each event. And if they overlap, it doesn't show you that either. So that's why I don't like this view, because it doesn't give me like a graphical picture of what's going on. It just sort of gives me the order of everything. So I'm going to go back here and turn that off and go back to this view, because some of these things are longer than other things. I could make a meeting longer or shorter by changing the time or by holding my finger on it until it gets dark. And when it gets dark like that, now I've got these little handles on the lower left corner here and the upper right corner. See the little dot? The little dot. If I put my finger on one of those dots, I can stretch this and make the meeting longer or shorter. And I can also put my finger right in the middle of it and slide it up or down. So I can move it to 2 o'clock. Come on, move to 2 o'clock. Okay. Now I can move it back down to where it was at 4 o'clock. And so that's something you can do quite easily. You can also open the event and then hit the edit button in the upper right corner, edit button, and then edit the time manually. So you could go in here and put in a start time and an end time. And you can do that manually instead of tapping and stretching it like I did. Let's say I wanted to move this to the next day instead. So if I tap it and hold it, now it's brighter again. Now I'm going to just hold it to the right a little bit and it's going to move to the next day. And now I can put it here at 6 p.m. Tomorrow. So I very quickly moved an event 1 day forward or 2 days forward. I can move 2 days forward to 5 p.m. on Friday. Okay, I'm going to put it back where it was, 4 p.m. here. But you can move events very quickly that way. So that's kind of handy. Now, if you're in the month view, you notice there's slightly different kind of hamburger arrangement up here above my cursor. And if I tap on that, I get a different view. I get a month at the top half of the screen, and at the bottom half, I get the day view. And I can, I only can see that one day. So if I want to see tomorrow, I have to go up here and tap on the 18. And when I tap on 18, now I get all of the events on tomorrow. So if you like to see the whole month and the whole day at one time, then stay in the month view or leave it in. You don't have to stay in the month view, but you can just turn that on. Let's see, if I go back, I guess I am stuck in the month view. I can go back to March. Yeah, that's as far as I can go. So if I turn that off, then I can go back to looking at a single day at a time. So you can choose the way you like to see the calendar. You can either see it this way, which is the standard way, or go up here and tap on this little hamburger up here and see all the days just stretched out as one big linear map of events. I prefer this one. Go back to today. Voila. Okay. Now we can edit an event. So let's say that I want to edit this, prepare for the iPhone class, this green one. Now you notice something. First of all, there's I put a place for it. I put it at the JCC. It really isn't there because it's in my house, but I put the JCC there so I can illustrate it. If I tap on the map down here, it should take me to the Maps app right away, and I can navigate to the place I go. So if you put up a location in the event, you can actually navigate right to it. How do you do that? Okay, so I'm going to edit this event. This is an event that I entered. So I'm going to hit the edit button in the upper right corner. And this is how you enter an event. So the first line up here is the name of the event. So that was prepared for the iPhone class. The second line is the location. Now you don't have to put a location. You can just put a note or something else. But if it's recognized by the phone as an address, then for instance, I can change it to my home. Okay, so now it's set to my home. So now when I go back to the event and I say, okay, let's navigate to my home, it's showing the calendar in the calendar entry, the map. If I just tap on the map, it'll take me to the map that actually shows that is my home. So the direction is a 2-minute walk. Well, it's actually less than that because I'm here. So it's like a 0-second walk, but you get the idea. So anything you put in this second field right here, if it's an address, it'll put a map entry in your calendar. And then if you want to go there, you just tap on the map and it'll immediately take you to the map center. So if, let's say you're putting in an event for a party in 3 months or 3 weeks, and instead of when the party occurs, you have to search, oh, where's the address? Well, put the address right in there in the first place when you enter the event. And now when it's time to go there, you look at the event and say, oh, I have a party to go to. And you tap on the calendar and it comes up with the map and tells you how to get there. And then you realize, oh, we're locked down in COVID. I can't go out anyway. So that didn't work. Now you can have an event that lasts all day. You know, maybe you just want an event to last all day, and rather than give it a start and stop time, you can just put in an all day. So click on the all day switch here, and you notice that now it's just showing you the start and stop time. Now you can have all day starting on one day and ending on another day. But if I go back to the calendar now it moved from here where it was timed up to the top. You see where it says prepare iPhone class. So it moved it up there because it's an all day event. And if I made it end tomorrow, which I could do, edit, and I'll change it, the end date to tomorrow. Well, let's do it Friday. Okay, so it ends on Friday, starts on the 17th and ends on the 19th. Hit done. Okay, so now when I go back to my calendar, here is Wednesday. I'm going to swipe to Thursday, and sure enough, it's up there on the top, just like it was before. And Friday, it's up there still. And if I go one more time, it's not there anymore because I only said it lasted 3 days. So I can go up here and I'll unedit this, take it off. This is now going to be ending in March. And it's going to start at, I'm going to start it at 9 a.m. There we go. And put it back. Okay, so there's back at 9 a.m. I can also do some other edits to this thing. I can tell it to repeat. And we'll talk about custom repeats in a minute. I can also add a travel time. So it'll bump a little extra time into the event. So if I add travel time of, say, 15 minutes, and then go back to the calendar and look at it, you notice it added a little horizontal line here, and then it added 15 minutes before 9 a.m. to show me that I have to allow for travel time. So you can add travel time to any event. I'm going to turn that off. You can add an alert and a second alert. So I can have an alert to 10 minutes before travel time, or now I don't have travel time, so 10 minutes before the event, or I can add a second one that's 1 day before. So I have 2 alerts for this event. One is 10 minutes before the event, and the other is 1 day before. So at 9 a.m. yesterday, because this is today, at 9 a.m. yesterday, it would have alerted me that I have an event coming up. So you have like a doctor's appointment, you wanted a reminder 1 day before, you can set 2 alerts, and you'll get reminded on both of them. So let's see what's next on this. Okay. So let's say we wanted we're taking a flight somewhere. Okay, and I'll add a new event. And let's say that I'm taking a flight at 1 o'clock and I'm going to New York. So I'm going to hit the plus button in the upper right corner to add an event. The other thing you can do is just hold your finger where you want the event. Instead of hitting the plus button, I just held my finger there and it took me right to a new event. So I can say fly to New York, and I can put in the flight number and all that stuff right here. Put in my code to get into the airplane. You can put in your frequent flyer code, whatever it is. Fly to NY. Okay, and it's the start time is 1 p.m. So I'm gonna tap on 1 p.m. and I'm going to take off in LAX. So the time zone down here says LAX. And I then look at my ticket, and I want to, it defaults to 1 hour. Okay, so now I want the end of the event. Okay, so started at 1 p.m. in Los Angeles. I want to end it in New York. So I'm going to go up here and type in. How did I get there, by the way? Okay, I went down to the end time. I am in the end time. Let me go back. Cancel. Discard key. Okay, so let me add it again. New event, fly New York. NYC. I can even add a little icon if I wanted to, just to remind me that I'm flying, so I could put in fly or airplane. And that's the takeoff, so I'll tap on the takeoff. So now I have a little icon there of the airplane taking off. So I'm going to go here and I edit this, and I want to change the end time. So you notice here it says starts at 1:15. Now I want to put the end time. So I'm going to tap on end. Takes me to the calendar. It's going to end on the same day, but it's going to land at, say, 9 p.m., but it's New York time. So I want to go here and I want to change this to New York time. So I'm going to type New York and tap New York. Okay, so now I'm taking off at 1 o'clock Los Angeles time, landing at 10 o'clock New York time. It's probably going to be more like 11 o'clock. Let's make it 11 o'clock. Okay. Okay. So now you look in the calendar and it's showing the flight starting at 10:15, or I'm sorry, 1:15. Let me just change it to 1 o'clock, make it easier. Go back. Not cooperating. Okay. Just a little early. Okay. But you notice instead of ending at 11 o'clock, it's ending at 7 something. Well, the reason it's ending at 7 something is because that's California time. But in New York, it's 3 hours later. So when I get to New York, it'll show the correct time for landing. But this is showing the correct duration of the flight in real time. So if you took off in LA at 1 p.m. and landed New York at 11 p.m. and you put in 11 p.m. And didn't change the time zone, then it would show you something that looks like this. And that would be unrealistic because it makes the flight look a lot longer than it really is. So you want to have the start time and the end time in the correct time zones, and then everything will take care of itself, because when you land in New York, your phone will automatically switch to New York time, and all the times will be correct for that. So let's say that you have a Broadway show you want to go to, and you want to enter the Broadway show in your calendar. When you get to Broadway, you want to have the right time. So you have an 8 o'clock Broadway show. Well, if you enter 8 o'clock Los Angeles time, okay, it's going to be 11 o'clock New York time, and you're either going to show up 3 hours late to the show, the Broadway show, or you just totally miss it in any case. So what you want to do is, if you're scheduling something for New York time, put in the time zone of that event as New York times. If you put the starting time and the ending time will be the same. Starting time in New York for an 8 o'clock show. Then when you get to New York, it'll be the correct time. So I'm going to delete this one and just illustrate that. So let's say we add a Broadway show. Broadway show. And it's going to be at 8 p.m. and I'll add it. And there it is at 8 p.m. Okay. Now, when I get to New York, that's going to show up at 11 p.m. on the calendar. That's not what I want. So I want to go here and I want to change this. I'm going to edit it, and I'm going to have the time start and stop at New York. Cancel it out, New York. Okay, done. Okay, now you notice now it's showing me 5 p.m. Well, it's 5 p.m. in California when it's 8 p.m. in New York. But it notice it showed me that it's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's actually showing me the correct time in the time zone I'm going to be at when I get there. So it's showing in California time that it's at 5 p.m., but it's showing also on the calendar that it's at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Actually, it's Eastern Standard, or yeah, it is Daylight Time, right? That's correct. Otherwise, it would say Eastern Standard Time if it was not Daylight Savings Time. So if you're planning a trip somewhere with a different time zone, make sure you set the time zone in the calendar event, and that way you will be able to be on time for your show and not miss it. Okay. Now let's talk about custom repeats. So this prepare iPhone class is only for this class today. But let's say that because this class is repeating on the third Wednesday of every month until July, so we have an iPhone class every third Wednesday through July. And since I have one every third Wednesday, I want to prepare for it every Wednesday. So I'm going to tap on the edit button up here to edit this. And I'm going to go down to repeat. Here's a repeat. Right now it says never. This event is never repeated. But I want to repeat it, and I want to do a custom repeat. So I'm going to go here, and I could repeat it every day, every week, every 2 weeks, every month, every year. But I want to do a custom because I want it to be on the third Wednesday of every month. Okay, not the 17th of every month, because every month the third Wednesday is going to be a different date. I want it to be the third Wednesday. So I'm going to tap on custom, and I'm going to go up here to every. It says every day. Well, I want it to be, I don't want it to be daily. I want it to be monthly. And then I say every month. So it's going to be every month on the, so it's monthly, every month on the 1 month. I could have it skip and do every other month, every third month, but I'm going to do every month. And I want it to be on the, not each. Each would be the 17th of March, the 17th of April, the 17th of May, and so on. But I want on the, and now I'm going to say I want it on the third Wednesday. Third Wednesday. Okay. So I'm repeating this event on the third Wednesday of every month. So let's go back here, and now I can, and also I put end repeat never. So this is going to repeat forever. Well, I want to end the repeat in July. So I'll put in here on the date, and I'll end it in, let's see, July 30th. Okay. It won't spill over to August, in other words. So that's good, done. Okay, so let's look and see what we've got. We've got prepare for the class on the third Wednesday. So let's go to April. I'm gonna go 1 week at a time. I'm just scrolling up here at the top scroll bar, and there it is. Showed right up here in green. Okay. So let's go to May. The third, there it is, the third Wednesday in May. You notice it's a different date, it's not the 17th. Okay, we can go to June. There it is. Okay, let's go to July. 2, 3, there it is, the third July. Let's go to August. 1, 2, 3. No, it's not there. Why? Well, because I told it to stop on July 30th. And since August 8th, 18th is beyond July 30th, it's not going to repeat anymore. So I can set this repeat and enter it once, and I'm done, and it'll repeat every month on the same day of the week. So let's say you have a bridge club that meets every 2 weeks on Thursdays. You can set that up that way. You can set it up to the first and third Wednesday of the month or something like that. You can customize the repeat any way you want. I'm going to go back to today. Let's say I want to delete this event. So I'm going to tap on this and I'm going to tap delete event down at the bottom. But now it's a repeating event. So it wants to know, do I want to repeat everything or just the one that I'm in right now? So if I tap on delete event, it gives me a choice of delete this event only. In other words, keep all the other repeats, or delete all future events, which means delete everything from here going forward. So if I delete this event only, it's gone. But if I go scrolling to next month, it's still there because I told it to repeat this one. So if I tap on this and say repeat, delete, now I'm going to say all future events. I'm going to tap on all future events. Voila, now they should all be gone. So if I go to May, it's not there anymore. Okay, so you can create repeating events, you can customize them, you can delete one and not all of them. So let's say you wanted to move one, let's say you rescheduled one of your events and you moved it by just sliding it up and down like I showed you how to do. It'll ask you, do you want to do this for this event only, or do you want to do it from all of them? And you can say, well, I only want to do it for this one. So all the other ones will stay in the same place. So that's a very powerful feature, custom repeats. If you just want a simple repeat, like repeat every week on Monday, like take out the garbage, okay, you can do, take out the garbage on Thursday, whatever it is, and have it repeat every week and never end the repeat, so it goes on forever, and that's okay. Okay, I'm going to talk about sharing calendars, and so a fallback of that, or a fallout of that, is you can actually color them too. So down here at the bottom of the screen, you notice it says calendars. So if I tap on calendars, you can see here are all the calendars I have. I've got the family calendar, and it says that it's shared with Beverly Jacobs. It's my wife. Okay, personal calendar is not shared by anybody. Beverly's calendar is shared by Beverly, not with Beverly. See, this is shared with Beverly. This is shared by Beverly. And I have it turned off, so you can't see it when I show the calendars. Normally, this would be on and I could see all her events. And then this is my calendar. And you can customize any of these calendars, and you can add a new calendar by going down here and adding a new calendar. Say add calendar, and then you can select the color and whether it's shared by somebody. So if I say add calendar, I can go over here and I can select the color. Maybe I want it to be purple. Okay, and calendar name is test. I'll call it test. Oops, test calendar. Okay, and done. Now, if I wanted to share that calendar, let's see, I tap it again and it says, well, I want to share it with somebody. Well, if I add a person, I can add the person, their name, and if it's it's somebody that should be in your contacts so that you can add that person, and then tap. So if I wanted to add Beverly into that, I can go and add her. I don't know which, let's just try that one. Add. So I can add that. Oops, I'm going to call it. Okay, so we're adding her. Oh, that was if I wanted to add another one. I don't add, so I'm going to tap add. Okay, so she's pending. Now, she's going to get a message that says Jake wants to share a calendar with you. And it's pending, and hopefully she doesn't accept it, but if she does, she's going to say, what's going on here? But if I tap on this, I can allow her to edit it or not. So if I turn that off, then she can't edit it. So it's a calendar that she can see, but she can't edit. Then I can hit done, and now I've got a new calendar in there. However, I don't want it, so I'm going to delete it. Let me make sure I delete the right one. Yeah. Okay, so I don't know whatever happens to the message. it sends her, hopefully it resends it. So you can select which calendars you see, and also you can subscribe to calendars, and you can also have US calendars, and you can also turn off and on birthdays. So you can select what is shown in your calendar at any time. So if I wanted to see only birthdays, I could uncheck all of these little dots here and see only birthdays. So if I hit done, now I'll only see birthdays. There's somebody's birthday at the top. And so on. So, and if I go to the month view, you'll notice that some of these have little dots on them, little gray dots, the 7th, the 8th, and the 9th, and the 10th. So there's a birthday on every one of those days. And you can see by turning off all the calendars except the birthdays, you can see where people's birthdays are clustered. You go back to calendar, show all, but I don't want to show Beverly, so I'll turn that off. So you can select the color of a calendar, and you can select who you share it with. Now you could just have two calendars, one is work and one is home, and not share them with anybody, but at least you have two separate calendars. But you have to be careful when you enter an event that you either show all the calendars or enter it into the right event. So how do you tell it what calendar to enter something into? Well, the first thing is if you go to settings and find calendar, and you should be able to find a default. So let's see, we're going to go to calendar. I'm in settings calendar, and down here it says default calendar. So I have my default calendar to be personal. So if I enter anything new into the calendar, it defaults to the personal account, then, or the personal calendar. Then I can select and change it when I enter the new event. So let's go back to the calendar and go back to today. Oh, I turned off all the calendars, so turn off Beverly. Okay, so I'm going to enter a new event. A new event, I'll call it new test event. Okay, and down here it says it defaulted to the personal calendar right here, personal calendar. But if I tap on that, I can change it. I can add it to the family calendar. So that means Beverly can change it and I can change it. Or I can add it to my own calendar. So that means Beverly can see it, but she can't modify it. So if I add that event, oh, I have these all turned on. Show all, done. Okay, here's the new test event. I'll change the time so we can see it a little better. Oops, keeps turning off all the calendars. I don't know why. Show all, shouldn't do that. Done. I don't know why it's turning off the calendar. Huh, that looks like a bug. Let me close the calendar app and open it again. Maybe it'll behave better. Or maybe I have to turn them on manually this way. Maybe that'll work. Done. Okay, now it seems to be sticking.
Jake?
Yeah.
There's two questions. One is, how do you create a new calendar? And the other one is, how do you subscribe to the Jewish holidays on your calendar?
Okay, the first one's easy. The new calendar is you go down to the bottom where it says calendars, and then you add that right down here it says add a calendar. So then when you tap add a calendar, and I just showed you how to do that. Remember I had a calendar called test, and I selected a color for it. And then once you do that, then you can add the sharing to it again. Okay, that's one way. Now subscribe, let's see, how do you subscribe? I think I would just Google it. Google US holiday calendar subscription, and you'll find different websites that have these things available. I don't remember actually where I got this from. It doesn't even show me where I got it from, which is unfortunate. but I somehow subscribe to it somewhere. Now, it may be under, I don't know if it's, I don't think it's in settings, under settings, calendar. Default, no, it's not. Accounts? Oh, subscribe calendars. Okay, subscribe calendars, your calendar, your calendar. Okay, so it looks like the server is download.hebecal.com/ical/Jewish-holidays, maybe, .ics. So I can't paste this into the into the share or put it in there. But if you want to copy it down, or ask me later and send me an email and I'll send it to you. Let me select. No, I want to select all. Come on. It's not letting me select now. Anyway, you got the idea. Let me download. Copy. Okay, I'll paste it somewhere and send it. So anybody wants to know, just send me an email or a text. And if you have the handout, it has my contact information on the top left corner, and you can send it to me and I will send it to you. Let me just paste it in here. Calendar app at the bottom. I'm gonna go all the way down to the bottom here and paste this calendar so that I'll have it available. Okay.
There's another question, Jake. If you can print out the birthdays for the year from your
No,
calendar?
I haven't found a way to do that. Unfortunately. But anytime you have a question like that I don't know the answer to, you can always try Googling it and just, type in iPhone print calendar or something like that and see if somebody's found a way to do it. There may be a way to do it, or you may be able to download a different calendar app. Now, if you download a different calendar app like Fantastical, which is a very popular, it's called Fantastical 2. I've got it on the phone, but I don't use it because I want to demonstrate this one. But the Fantastical 2 may have the option of printing. Let's see, does it have settings? Yeah, I don't know. I don't see anything that says you can print it, but it might be hidden in there somewhere. Now, if you download a third-party app like this for a calendar, you're saying, well, gee, I have to enter all my events all over again. No, you don't. It actually goes to the existing calendar and copies everything. So it has access. It doesn't copy it. It actually uses the same calendar. So whenever you make an entry into Fantastical, for example, it will actually make the same entry in the regular calendar. So if I go back to Fantastical, you notice that today it has the new test event that I added. There it is. Okay, so it picked up everything that's in my calendar. Anyhow, I don't know how to print it, but I could Google it, or you could Google it, and maybe we can find out a way to do it. There's probably a third-party app that'll let you print calendars. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised there is. Wouldn't be surprised at all. Okay, so we can share calendars with family, friends, kids, whatever you want. Birthdays, put birthdays in the contacts. So if you have a contact list and you want to add a birthday to a certain person, you would go in and enter the let's find a new person. I'll just enter a new contact when I go down here, I can add a birthday, and you can add the birthday either with the date of the year, dot, 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 in which case it doesn't show their age, or if you put in the actual date of birth, every birthday will show how old they are. So you can enter a person in the calendar, and if you enter their birthday up here, then it'll show up in the calendar automatically every year. And that's pretty cool. Then you don't have to worry about it ever again. And you can turn off and on the birthdays, as I said, by just going to calendars and toggling the birthdays on and off. Okay, so let's say that you wanted to show the Hebrew calendar as well as the normal calendar simultaneously. So if you go to settings again and go to calendars or calendar, and then you can say alternate calendars right here. It says alternate calendar. So I'm going to turn on the Hebrew calendar. So you have a choice of one of these three: Chinese, Hebrew, Islamic. So I just chose the Hebrew. And if I go back now to the calendar, you'll notice here it puts in the Hebrew month right underneath the day, and it also shows the Hebrew day. So this is a month of Nisan, and it's the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and the 4th of Nisan in the 17th in the Gregorian calendar. So you have both calendars at the same time, and here shows the date, Wednesday, March 17th, but also for Nisan 5781. So you can have the Hebrew calendar or Chinese or Islamic, and then when you go to the month, it'll also show you two dates. It shows you Nisan starting here on the 1st, and then it shows you the 2nd, the 3rd, the 4th, and so on. So it carries on to the monthly date as well. So there's the Hebrew calendar showing on there.
And does it show the holidays? Like
No, only if you have the Jewish holiday calendar added on here. This one, you have this one.
Okay, got it.
And again, if you email me or text me, I will send you the link to it that you can add it to your phone. Back here. Oops, wrong one. Done. Okay. Now you can, if you, let's say you have a Zoom meeting, or let's say this new test event, I want to add the Zoom link. I can go here to edit and go all the way to the bottom, and here it has a place for URL. And you can type in or copy. I copy and paste the URL from the email announcing the Zoom meeting, and I paste it right in here. So then when I open up the event, I have the URL right there. You can also put notes in an event, so you could, maybe it tells you something about the event. Anything you want, you can put a note in there, and it can be as long as you want. So you could like, let's say you're going to a play and you want to put the synopsis of the play in, put it there in notes. That's okay. Then when you open it up, you can tap on that and see the notes of the event. And if somebody sends you an email that has an event in it, or a time, you can just tap on the time. So let's say I wanted to, instead of an email, let's see, I had the mini classes. Okay, so you notice here I have various dates. So if I tap on any of these dates and hold my finger on it, it gives me the option of creating an event in the calendar, creating a reminder in the Reminders app, showing this date in the calendar. Maybe I don't want to create the date yet, but I want to show it, or copy the event and I can paste it someplace else. But if I hit create event, it'll create that date and event, and it'll take the name of the event from the title of the note or the email or wherever you got it, and actually create an event for you. I already have these in there, so that would not be very instructive. But if I had something else that somebody sent me, back to today, and let's go to email, find, here, sent me a link. Okay, well, there's an example of a link. If I tap on that link and it says, copy this link, and I can copy the link, and then I can paste the link in to the URL field, but I was going to show you a date. So I don't know if these things have dates that I can actually tap on. Okay, that's not a selectable link, but if I had something that had a date in it, I can just tap on it and then add that event to my calendar right away. And talked about travel time. Oh, also in the, you notice I have week numbers showing here somewhere. Or maybe the week numbers aren't there because I turned them off, or because I have the calendars, the Hebrew calendar turned on. But if I go to calendar and let me turn off the Hebrew calendar, turn that back off. Now let's see, okay, it says week numbers off. If I turn week numbers on, right here, week numbers, if I turn week numbers on, now when I go to the calendar, it'll show me that it's week 12. So this is week 12 of the year. If I go back here, you'll see here is week 12, week 13, week 14. So you can have week numbers shown in the calendar as well. And the one other thing I didn't talk about, but if I look at today view, I can see the month view and the year view. But what about the week view? Okay, so how do you get the week view? If you turn the phone sideways in landscape mode, then you get the week view, and you can scroll up and down or left and right and see. Well, in this case, it's 5 days. It depends on your phone. On my iPhone, old iPhone 7, I could see a whole week, but on this phone, I can only see 5 days. So it's not a true week view, it's almost a week view. Maybe they should call it the almost a week view.
There is another question on how to add a second alert on the calendar.
Yes, so if I have a test event and I want to edit it, I'm going to go to edit, and then here it says alert, and right below it, it says second alert. So there's always the option of adding a first and a second alert. So if I go here, this one's 10 minutes before, and you can set a default for alert. So I set the default so that it'll always add 10 minutes before to any new event that I add, but you don't have to do that. That's also in settings. But if I go here and I say, I want to know 2 days before, okay, so now 2 days before the event, it will alert me, as well as 10 minutes before the event. And the 2 days before is usually 9 o'clock in the morning.
I guess some phones don't have a second alert. Is that possible?
No, I don't think so. I think they all do. Unless you have unless you're using a real old operating system, but they've had that, I think, for years. So I can't believe that it's not there. If you create a new event, okay, yeah, it's got it right there. Even a new event, it says alert and second alert. So you should have it.
And there's another question. Can you explain Siri suggestions on the calendar list?
I didn't understand the question. What was the question?
Can you explain Siri suggestions on the calendar list? If you don't understand the question, Ellen, do you want to unmute yourself?
Yeah, Siri suggestions is just things that if you're doing a search, it'll suggest various apps to look for things in. That's all. It's just where do you want Siri to search to find stuff? Do you want it to search in your calendar? Do you want, so if you type in the name cats, do you want it to search in the calendar for the word cats or not? So that's what Siri suggestions is pretty much doing, is where do you want it to look? So I've gone through the entire thing here. So I'm open now to any questions.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I actually have a question. I don't have the add second alert. I looked on settings. I looked on my phone. I don't have that option. I'm not sure why. And my phone is updated.
The latest, what model is it?
11?
Oh, okay, yeah, it should, I don't know why it's not there. That's,
I don't either, because it's not. But my bigger concern is we have a couple trips set up, and I got confirmation of the trips and details in my Gmail, which I put on my calendar. It's on my calendar. On my phone, it doesn't show up on my iPad. And I don't know how to transfer or share that calendar from my phone to my iPad. It shows up in a different color. It says it's from Gmail. And
yeah, you have to turn on iCloud to go into settings and, and go up here to where your name and Apple ID are and go to iCloud and make sure that calendars is turned on for iCloud on both devices. And then it should share.
I'll try that. Okay.
Kurt,
Jake, thank you for a very excellent class. Can you hear me okay?
yes.
Yeah, I put in the paste how you get the Jewish calendars. It has to do with the calendar settings. I'm new to this, as you know, I'm an Android user, but my wife has an iPhone because she likes that interface for her making her calls. In any case, the magic answer is settings, calendar, accounts, add account, other, add subscribed calendar, and in the server, you put in the URL to the ICS file, the calendar file. And I gave an example, hebcal.com has a very nice thing. I just tested it on my wife's iPhone 11, and it works like a charm, and I can see all of the Jewish holidays.
So that's another calendar. So if you look in the chat room, that's what you're saying, right? You put it in chat?
I put the details on chat. There's two different ways. The default way, you can get the Hebrew dates just doing settings, calendar, alternate, and you get the Hebrew dates. But if you actually want the holidays, apparently you have to go to an ICS file that has the named Jewish holidays.
Right, and that's what I'm talking about for when you go to calendars and it has the Jewish holidays right here. That's the ICS one.
Right.
The other one I showed you was just showing it on the days on the calendar, but it doesn't show you the holidays. This actually downloads the holidays and puts them in the phone. So if I wanted to find Yom Kippur, I just say YOM, and there it is in purple because it's part of the Jewish calendar. Oh, in fact, it shows me the link to get there too. There it is.
But you're also using hebcal, which was what I found through a Google search.
Okay, so if you go to www.hebcal.com, that should get you going, and then you should be able to find the calendar you want and download it and put it on your phone.
And the nice thing is hebcal.com makes it very easy to copy to the clipboard. They have an actual copy button on the website. You copy that to your clipboard, and then you can paste into the server field in that iPhone settings server.
So if you open hebcal.com on your phone, then you can do it right there on the phone and copy that link. Thank you, Kurt. That's a good input. Appreciate that. I'm looking for.
Hi, me again. I do have iCloud calendar turned on both my iPad and my phone, and it's still not showing that,
Okay, well, let me get on with you one-on-one on a Zoom call or telephone call, and we'll work it out. So give me a call after the class, and we'll set up to do it or whenever's convenient for you. Okay, Mar? Anyone else? Okay, just a reminder. Let me see where we are. iPhone classes. Next week is the contacts. Okay. So we're going to talk all about the things you can do with the contacts app.
And that's April 21st at 10 a.m.
Yeah. So
So mark your calendars now.
here's a list of all
Now that we know how to do that.
Yeah, you can set up a repeating. Well, once you modify any entry in a repeating, then it's no longer part of the repeat, but that's okay. You can set them all up and then you can change each one individually. But that's what I do is I set up the whole thing at once and then I change each one. I say this one's for contacts and this one's for calendar and this one's for whatever. But they're all in the right place. In 1 second. You don't see any second alert. Okay, I have to look into that. I find that hard to believe, so I don't know where it's missing to. Any other questions that I missed?
Well, there is a request that just came in for a future class, and it is a class on how to transfer photos from the iPhone to a PC.
Okay, yeah, I did do a photos and camera class before, and if we're still locked down after July, hopefully we'll not, and we're not doing in person, then I'll do a Zoom one. Otherwise, we'll do a class at the KCC perhaps on the camera only, or we can do one on Zoom too. I don't know. We'll have to decide. But if you go to my website and download the full handout, not just the 2-page handout, but I have a 24-page handout for my 8-hour class. I think there's an entry in there for how to move pictures from the phone to the computer or the other way around. But if not, again, give me a call or text or email me and we'll set up a meeting and I'll show you how to do that. Because I have some write-ups on those things.
Can you put your website in the chat
Yeah,
or whatever information you wanted to share?
yeah, it's the website is jcare.weebly.com and then go to and then just go to iPhone classes and you'll find a whole bunch of links to different things.